Welcome to another episode of Azania in Therapy. Today I've got my special guest, the chairman and CEO of EBL Institute of Business and Technology, business consultant, master trainer of entrepreneurship, a global speaker, artist and composer. Please welcome my very special guest today, Dr. Pitse. How are you? How are you, Doc?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Brataba?
Yeah, I nearly said pizza there, pizza. Do you ever get confused? Do you ever have people, missing your name?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, especially I'll say, with our white people, for some reason, I
Yeah.
think pizza is more common. So a lot of
Yes,
people
yes, yes.
somehow they will call me pizza, and I say, you know what? The reason why I'm pizza is because it's not common; it's a special one. So pay attention. There's E there, not O. So it happens a lot. It happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, no apologies there. But thank you very much. I really appreciate this time because I've been trying to actually just meet up, and you're a very very busy man, and I appreciate the time that you made it. Before I even get into my first question, I just want to say congratulations. So in June, right? You were in Atlanta, Georgia. Maybe just a little bit about that. What was happening there?
Yes. No, I'm saying the Bible says, my people perish due to a lack of knowledge or information, whichever version one reads. So, what we are doing, providing people, with the necessary knowledge that people need to survive, to thrive, and all that. So, that's definitely God's work, what you're doing. So, congratulations and thank you for the honor that I become part of the series. Um,
Thank you very much.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I went there because I was nominated and I received an honorary doctorate in humanitarian and a global humanitarian award as well, for the work that I've been doing here in South Africa and across Africa. So yeah, what a great honor that was, I must say. Because what has happened before, which I thought was in my life, is that I was actually 35. And I think that is
Mm,
like, yeah, 4 years back, I received a lifetime award from, the Business Chamber of Commerce and Industries that
mm,
I sort of founded. And I thought to myself, okay, a 35 lifetime award. So I thought that was a big deal, but this one even more so. I mean, to be
mm.
honored by the most powerful number one state in the world that will actually look down upon us. I think that's a really great honor. So yeah.
No, it's wonderful. I was looking at your Instagram there. I was very inspired. It's like you were like a secret. Doing wonderful things. And two things, I saw that you met you were with Tony Braxton's mom in your graduation, or she was in class with you, and Mr. Vusi Tembekwayo also gave you your props. So the congratulations too.
Yes, and funny enough, like I'm saying, I didn't even realize, even during the graduation, that the whole family was actually there. I
Yeah.
just saw from their pages, people alerted me, and then when I started looking at their pages, posted like, "Hey, I was with the Braxton's family here," and the mother. And I saw here that there were other American celebrities that were there. That
Mm,
it's not a matter of ignorance, but it's like, okay, I didn't even realize. So that's actually quite big in America.
yeah.
Or even the institution itself. It's a good, well-positioned institution in America, in Atlanta. The home of your Tyler Perry, the home of your Kanye West and stuff. So yeah.
No, thank you very much. Let's get into it. I suppose I mean you work a lot with entrepreneurs, business. You're a master trainer of entrepreneurship. Maybe let's begin simply because I like with the channel to just explain things to people. Sometimes we complicate things and we make it hard for people to understand and to follow through to pursue their dreams because we complicate these things, but maybe just on a basic level. So you work with people, you work with business. Maybe when you think about business and entrepreneurship and people development, how do you generally define those terms, or how do you explain it to people?
All right. No, thank you. Yeah, no, that's definitely my passion there. So,
Yeah.
and I like when you started, complicating it, because the way I answer, when you ask me what entrepreneurship is, I mean, that don't do. You can take your Oxford and check the dictionary, but the question is now, how do you implement this thing?
Mm,
And this is how I've actually got to actually break it down. Um, I think in one of my master's, I would say thesis that I was doing, entrepreneurship, is a mathematical equation for me, and that's how I see it. I'm a
mm,
mathematician, so I need to see things in equation. And what that means is that I always said it's P versus S, which is equals to P slash I you know.
mm,
Now, what do I mean by that? Entrepreneurship simply means this is a process, first of all, of coming up with a solution to a problem so that you can generate profit or impact. So that's what it is. So for entrepreneurship to exist, meaning that there must be a problem, but also to break it down in order to make it more simpler is that when you look at
mm,
problem, we only think about things that are problem. A problem is something that makes you sad. So there are two ways to a problem. I would say, two pools, right and left. In the right, that problem, it's either there is pain. So with your
mm.
solution, you'll alleviate pain, or you will provide pleasure for people. To make an example, when you think immediately, I think of the worst pain that I know. It's like
Yeah.
a toothache. You start
Mm,
thinking a dentist. A dentistry solution is a solution to alleviate pain from the toothache.
yeah.
On the other hand, and people don't see this as entrepreneurship. You can come up with a solution to just give people pleasure.
Mm,
When they think about it's Friday, whoever came up with alcohol, is alcohol really painful? It's not painful. I
mm,
mean, it's for pleasure. So it's like a
mm.
solution towards, that is actually providing pleasure to people. So that is that. It's
Yeah.
literally coming up with solution, solving problems, so you can make what out of it? Profit. Now,
Mm,
something very important that I'd like to add every time I get an opportunity is that we have this business structures that we call NPOs, non-profit organizations,
mm,
that believe that their existence exists through, it's like, they're not different from the people in the streets who are begging. So now the
mm,
reason why I put this as well is that even when you're an NPO, non-profit organization, so you are literally come up with a solution to address problems, but your main focus is not necessarily profit, is impact. So it still
mm,
fits in here. So you still actually fall within the entrepreneurship as long as,
mm,
like, I'm come up with solution to address problems, whether it's for impact
mm.
or profit.
Mm. I like that description because you are breaking it down simply, especially as a psychologist, you are talking to me because those are the two things that as human beings we generally do. We are either running towards pleasure or running away from pain. And when you say,
Yes.
you are either creating solutions, to bring pleasure and then you there's a profit from it, or you're helping people cope better with situations and you make a profit from it. And then as far as people are concerned, just people development, when you think about it, what do you focus on when you say you are developing people? What are you essentially doing?
All right. So developing people as well, my definition thereof is, again, it's a process. Into development. One thing that comes is that this is a process. This is something is like a process, a pathway that you follow to, I mean, to a certain, let's say, end goal or so. So, how I define it, I say it's a measurable process that you take or you follow
Mm,
to equip people or humans, either with skill, knowledge, either attitude, values, or so that you get to a certain end goal. The reason why I say measurable is that when you
mm,
develop people, you need to be able to test and measure to see what you're doing. It's like when a child develops, that development process. You know exactly, I mean, when you follow the milestones of development, they start
yeah.
smiling, they start working. So the development process should follow those milestones as well. There need to be
Yeah.
milestones, there need to be
Mm,
results, and they must be
mm,
tested and measured. So you can't say you
mm,
develop somebody if there's not a process that can follow the milestone of being tested and measured, and also to get to a certain end goal. Yeah.
mm. Yeah, I like that whole process because very often I think we think life just happens, by itself. And when you say we develop, but then there are milestones which you can, put down, measure, and you can then get a sense of the progress. You can watch it, you can see that you're busy. Because I also had somebody one day saying, there's a difference between being busy and being effective. And I suppose when you say development, I could say, we could say somebody's growing, but we don't know if they are developing properly. So I like the way you break it down. Now, since doing business, working with people, entrepreneurship, your observations about people, where they struggle with businesses, and maybe two things. So what usually helps people when you look at people starting businesses, building businesses, and developing, what typically helps them, and what also, in the opposite, what usually hurts us from being the best that we could be?
Yeah, no, that's a very deep question, actually. Now, what helps people also from the formula? If you look at, for people to end up, let's say you want to have a business, right? There's a formula also that I put in place. It's called be multiplied by do is equals to have. You need to be somebody, you need to do certain things in order to have certain things. So now, in order for you to have this business, you need to do and do certain things and become somebody. And now, what helps people, the way I'll put it is that I think the most important one, in terms of helping people, is self. It starts with you.
Mm,
But before you even get to that, there are certain things that need to happen before. What helps people? I'll start by saying it's people, other people. And the point
mm.
I want to set across here is that is why we cannot, you always hear, I'm a self-made millionaire, I'm a self-made.
Yeah.
That it is
Mm,
not true. We're not
mm,
self-made.
mm,
We had mentors who help you, we had coaches and
mm,
stuff. So people help people. So that is why
mm,
it's very important as a person, in order to, whether you want to run a business, whether you want to succeed in something, you need to look for people who can actually help you, people who know better than you, whether they are called mentors, coaches, or just, experts in the field, or just people you can reach out to who can help you. So people help people, you know. People who know help those people who don't know. So that's why if you don't know, you need to reach out to somebody who don't know. The skills are
mm,
imparted by other people who know better. So that is very important. And secondly, so you need to look up to people in order to help you. Secondly, tools. There are tools out there that are helping you. And yeah, as one of those things that hurt, as a black person, and this is how, the generalists, those people who cannot distinguish, between people, would look at us and say, these terms, Thabang, where people say, if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. Now, one of the things to help yourself is obviously you get tools like books in order for you to acquire knowledge. And that's exactly some of the tools that will help you. So in order for you to get help to understand the business, you need to use the tools of knowledge, seek skills, seek other people. But I think the most important one, because you can get trained, you can get coached, but if you yourself don't implement it, which is the being, which is now self, for me, that is very, very important. No matter how much, there are people who receive so many resources that are given to them, training, coaching, but they don't implement the things. So the ultimate person to actually help a person here is you, to take everything that you've acquired and implement it. Because when you look at that formula, be multiplied by do is equals to have. And how I break it down for people to understand, I always ask them to say, when you look at somebody like Oprah Winfrey, everything she has or she has acquired, what does Oprah do? How did she get it? What does she do? And a lot of people, okay, no, she's a talk show, she's got a marketing company and all that. Oprah is at a point where she's Oprah, she gets paid for being Oprah. So we are all in the process of being or becoming. So no matter what you receive, whether it's tools, whether you use other people, but the ultimate person who will help you is you. So that's why it's very important to have what you call a self-development plan or personal development plan. What it does, you get the goals of what you want to be, have clarity in terms of what to be, what you want to become. And everything that you do is going to lead you to that process of becoming. I can further expand as well. We look at people who have money, who have acquired money, and you think you look at them, right? Like, for example, when you look at somebody like I don't know. Let's look at in our country. We look at, for example, Patrice Motsepe. The giving that you find from Patrice Motsepe, yes, he has money. That's how people see it. But if you see exactly what this person has become, he's become a philanthropist. He's become very generous. He's become, he notices he's got money, but it's like he's one of those people who is so human that he's aware of other human beings. So at the end of the day, whatever that we have, it's not even about what we have or about what we do. It's about what we become. And one of my goals in life, I tell people with where I'm at right now, one of my biggest goals right now, which towards the end, I will just, go through is that, I want to reach a billionaire status. I want to become a billionaire. Now, my 14-year-old son is asking me, why not a trillionaire? I said, no, that's for you. I just want to get there. Why? I want that process of becoming a billionaire, because those things that I will be doing, the more you get into this process, it's about the process, it's about what it makes you become. So now, just to summarize as well, with everything that I've said, you're saying what helps people? You help yourself by utilize people and utilize tools. Doesn't matter how to get, if you do not implement taking action on those things that you've received, whether it's knowledge, it's coaching, it's help and all that. Yeah, I think that's how I can answer it. Yes.
Yes, I like that. So the be, do, have, and especially the implementation part, because I think now we live in an age where there's so much information, but a lot of us just watch it. We don't implement. And so I like the idea. The other thing I'd asked in the question was also then what hinders people? When you look at people, would you say it's things like that, not doing what you're supposed to do? What are the common mistakes you come across, maybe businesses and people trying to develop, where you find, oh, but this is a common thing, people are struggling with this?
Yeah. Okay. So there's something we call identity iceberg, right? But when you look at that, and the way it comes out is that you can draw it. You look, there's this environment which is under the water. We know exactly how deep it goes, and then what we just see, is that on the surface what we see. So normally with human beings, and it will answer this question in terms of hindrance. What we just see, we see how people, the decisions that people make, the actions that they take, and how they behave. Now, that's what we see, and that's what just people are caught upon. Now, especially you as a clinical psychologist, I mean, this is your subject of specialty. You see these three things. Now, the first question that you ask yourself with the knowledge is that, okay, why would you behave this way, take these decisions? Why do you, so what happens is that, there's that internal environment that is down there that people actually don't even get to see. So our main hindrances, especially with entrepreneurs, you'll see, I like it, the logic of it is like it starts up here, it goes down there. Whatever the heart can conceive and mind can believe, hands can do. That what heart, head, hands theory that Dr. Thabang talks about. So anyways, I think for me, it starts up here. It's that mindset. Even before that mindset, that is obviously informed by your by your values and principles, and that's how you come up with a mindset on how you operate. The mindset of self to start with. I mean, if you don't, here's the thing. For example, you go into business, right? Your belief, your mindset, your belief systems. You think about you going to business, and business at the end of the day, the bottom line of business is money. But you come up with this mindset that money is the root of all evil. But you are in business, you are making money. How do the two come together? It's like you get into a relationship, you want to get married, and you say women are evil, men are pigs, or men are dogs. Now, how would you want to have a relationship and be respected by this opposite or by this other party if you have no respect for them, but you want to have one, you want to benefit from them, you want to benefit from the money and all that? So just that mindset, that negative mindset of whatever that you are doing. If you're in business, you've got negative mindset towards money. At the end of the day, that's the resource that actually governs the business. If you think of it, then that will hinder you, because how do you then learn about get to know your numbers, see the importance of money, see exactly you know what money is for. The best tool that it is a God, you know, what is it? A God created tool that is actually helping us to navigate this thing. If you don't have so that mindset, that negative mindset towards self, towards exactly what you do, towards so for me that would be that. But the biggest one that hinder people, it's it's about self, and this is how I think I will sort of make it simpler. People, and this is what we say when you get into business, you need to understand the environment, you need to understand yourself. There's this people get there and say, me, I'm like this. And have you seen when people are starting to defend themselves as me, I know for sure that I'm a rude person. I'm a this and this. That's how they negatively describe themselves. Where they normally say, this is how I am. It's normally not on the positive side of things. That's how they do. So that being negative, which is a self-defense mechanism, becomes a hindrance. Why are you a bad manager of people, yet you want to have people to manage? Because me, I don't like people. Because me, all that negativity. So I would say what hinders us, first of all, is the mindset itself, but especially the kind of knowledge that we have towards things. But I think the easiest thing that I only think about it, right? It's positive. It's that thing. Either you're positive or you're negative towards something. Understanding how the laws work. Negative people. What yields the law of attraction? What you focus, the energy, negative energy. What you focus on is exactly what what you become, what you manifest. Actually, what you focus on. The dog that grows is the one that you feed. So if you want to succeed, for example, as an entrepreneur when you're in business, which dog are you feeding? You need to understand, yes, the business is your dog. So you need to feed this one, that you want to grow. You want a dog of negativity. You want a dog of, your self-esteem itself. Because I'm black, I'm a woman, you feel inferior. Then, you cannot go for deals because already you are defeated in your head because of your self-image. I can't go and pitch for this deal because I'm black and I'm a woman. So I'm not going to get it. Self, you are defeated already. The battle is won in the man. So it's one of those things. But self, like I'm saying, negativity, positivity. So, but when you are positive, it's say the deal is there. You see it as the deal is like, okay, self-confidence. I believe in myself. There's a deal. It's for entrepreneurs. What's my identity? I'm an entrepreneur. Forget your skin color. Forget whether you are male or whatever. Even if it's on paper, but if you are given a chance to go and present yourself on that table, that's self-confidence, that's self-belief. That's how you go with it. And that's how actually people get to win in life, by having that. What will hinder you is the opposite of that. Every time you look at all this, there's a term, I mean, as well as a person in the medical field, it's not like that. But we in South Africa, we make up our own English. But this one is like our own medical term that was made. Excusiitis, tis, which is a sort of a disease, infection of something. That disease of excuses. You start coming up with excuses. What are you getting? Excuses. They hinder you. They block your brain. You don't think. But when you think of possibilities and you believe in yourself, like anything I can do, then that's how you actually move forward. I don't know. I think that's the long and short of it. Answer I can give you.
Summoned by greater and lesser pleasures, a man decides daily between dirt and treasure. The visionless ones only stand to fall, but brave are they that heed the call, fight. Persistently superior and lesser loves whisper, but safe are they that recognize danger. Victorious is the man who learns to master fire, so learn, dear sir, learn to stand for truth in fire.
That's quite helpful for me because especially when you touch on mindsets and what's actually helpful is how you're explaining it from the inside out, because I think people live almost something must come from the outside to change them. But what you're touching on is there must be work internally. There's a way you must think and be, have a certain kind of self-esteem, and that will allow you to then act in the world. Would you say that even young people, I think there was a report by Statistics South Africa a few, maybe about a week ago. It was about how young people, they are struggling with jobs, they are struggling with, just making a living. And what are your thoughts right now in 2023? Your observations about young people and how they feel about business and developing themselves.
Okay. Um, you see, there's some of people always say knowledge is power, but I say that's half the truth. The full truth is the application of the knowledge. That's where the power comes with application, I would say. I think what young people are missing here is that, okay, first of all, I always try to follow logic when these things or when the question is posed. You look at that as young people, right? It's a phase of life where you are at. And when you look at it now, when as you've been through it, it is the most exciting phase. Scientifically speaking, when you look at the brain development, how it works and all that, as a young person, this is the stage where you're actually the most creative. I think creative, the best creative ideas come out of young people. People like your colonel, those are exceptions, people, who came, but also when you see, it was just things he's been practicing. It's not like he came up with some innovation while he was old, people who founded things then. While people are still young, this is a phase when you're the most creative. And when you look at it, going into business, creativity is being creative, being innovative is one of those important elements that you actually need to have. So being young, that's one exciting phase. You are the most creative, first of all. So it means it is a good time to be in business. Secondly, young people are ambitious for some reason because, we say imagination is everything. So this is the space where they imagine. They've not been through a lot where they can, when you've been through a lot of stages where you know what risk is, how to de-risk, how to avoid risk. They've not been through, being put through such tests. So they become very ambitious. They've got this pure imagination, very exciting phase as well in business, if you think of it. They've got a whole lot of attributes of progress, like fearlessness. Have you sat with young people in a room and you ask them with this problem, or let's say idea generation workshops that I would do with young people? You allow them the space to actually give you their thoughts and what they think, because another thing to remember, they're quite relevant in the world that we live in right now. Because everything that is happening now, what they understand, that's their relevance, is their world. That's why a lot of older people struggle to even fit in here. They will always tell you during our days. So being young is the best thing, is the best time for you to have. But the most important one is that being young as well as a young person is that you can afford to lose, or you don't have much to lose. If you start a business now, it fails, you still have time to actually recover. Now, this brings me back to this, philosophy, or what is normally being said is that in your 20s, you work to learn. In your when you're over 30, you start working to earn. So it simply means when you're young as well, you don't have so much pressure. They get in there, like my son is 14 now, he's busy telling me so that he wants to be a millionaire at 18, already putting himself under financial pressure. Then I told him, boy, you can start a business now, but the main purpose of it is to learn. So that phase, in summary, is that this is an exciting phase for young people. And I think this is maybe what, I don't know why, but this is what maybe they are missing. So they should actually be, as a young person, you should be excited in this space, So in terms of young people and business, my view there is that we need to actually give young people a whole lot of space, opportunity, in order for them to, get into business, make all those mistakes. But obviously there are things that we need to be careful of. And one of the things we do wrong is that one of, you want a young person to go into business and you burden them with loans, where you talk about, one of the hindrances, or one of the challenges in going into business is it's capital, it's funding. Young people don't need funding. Give them a space. That's why it's best even to be entrepreneurs in other people's businesses. Give them a space to make mistakes, but make sure that the risk is as low as possible so that they don't cost you. Because if you give him 10 million, with the idea they make mistakes, 10 million is lost. So I would say in terms of business, I think it's an exciting phase. And just maybe to say, okay, coming up with a solution to say, now, how do we avoid or how do we allow young people get into business, give us those amazing ideas that we have because we are very creative in order to help us to solve problems, but at the same time, at a very minimal cost, don't put too much risk at them. First of all, I would not give some 22-year-old who's never run a business a funding of 10 million. Never. You've never even earned 10,000, you want 10 million. I would not do that. But I would provide them probably with the opportunity either to be part of the team, to be part of people who are experienced who are doing that. So with that being saying is that, one, give them space in the business space, but we need to have certain processes that actually to mitigate the risk. And how do we do that? That's why let young people get into business. Let's have more incubators. Get them in there, incubate the ideas, help them grow. Later on when they've learned, you'll be surprised how many Elon Musk will come out with and your Jeff Bezos of this world, Not just that, creating sustainable programs like that is why I've actually created this institution, the EBL Institution of Business and Technology. It's exactly what we do. Allow young people to say, don't put yourself under pressure of wanting to make money. It's not even the time yet. Get in there. When we say start in business, we don't simply mean go through everything, high risk and lose everything. No. By starting, we say starting is, and this is my principle, seek first the knowledge, then do. Start with your business, seek the knowledge, do. The more knowledge you do. And the step by step, the combination of that gives you the experience, gives you the knowledge, later on the expertise. And then later on when you get in life, then you can just launch with what? Experience, better, you've learned. Yeah, so the start will be that one of learn. So things like incubators, the programs that are incredible, and you're talking about credible programs here, that are scientifically and very important at Thabang. Also as a scientist, you'll agree with me, which is something that we do, I think we do wrong. I think whatever that we do, these programs incubated, they just need to follow those scientific principles that you are able to test and measure. That's why I said, seek first the knowledge and do. Not just we'll give you funding, just do this. You don't even have parameters or rubric or any form of how you measure the start, the success, the processes, the milestones and all that. I'm big on that. It's to say, whatever that you do, to safeguard yourself, just follow the scientific principles. So yeah, young people, exciting time, business, best place to be is just how do we implement it?
Yeah, I actually appreciate that. I mean, the way the energy, the creativity that you brought in, and I wanted to link it to people who do stay. Some people start, they make mistakes, they follow through. And what are your observations about people who eventually, people who stayed in business? What do you learn about them? Either their character, their experiences. What are just your thoughts around people who've just were able to build businesses?
Yeah. Well, let me put it this way. You get into business, obviously in business, you need clients. Now, when you test and measure, you check. There's a saying as well, the best clients are educated clients, right? And these are clients, you're not talking about now the cheap clients who are just looking for cheap deals everywhere. I have one of my businesses that I used to own, which I closed after COVID became a good excuse to actually close it down. I've got a license where we sell high-end with one of the brands. I can mention it, right? Okay, so with Yamaha brands, so I'm able to sell, the high-end musical instruments of Yamaha's. Like, for example, I will sell, a grand piano that's worth 250 grand. So I actually used to own that boutique store, and I've got that license in the Free State and Northern Cape to sell these instruments. So now what happens is that when people walk into my business, I know there are clients who walk in, those cheap clients, they don't know much about what they want. They're just looking for a cheap deal. Never loyal, you can't even keep them, because for you to keep them, it means you must be cheaper than everyone else. And that's not how business is run. And then you get these people that we call sophisticated clients who enter the store. It's not about price. It's about your product knowledge. They know what they want. So if you know what you are selling, then you want those educated clients who will ask you the right questions about your product or your service. Then, those are the best clients who are educated. They are not going to look for cheap deals because they are looking for the best person who can do the work regardless of the price. Now, it goes back to answer the question to say the best business people, actually educated people. By educated, I don't mean people who have degrees, who did that. You enter into the business, that is your space, you become either a business person or an entrepreneur, then after you become that, you embrace that, that's your identity. Then you choose. It starts by choosing. You choose, this is my career. Like I myself, I've got a different career. When I started, I could have been practicing that, but I have made a choice. First of all, it starts with a choice. You choose, this is what you want to become. Secondly, that choice that you make, you choose it, it becomes your goal, it becomes your dream, and then your goals and dreams becomes about this choice that you've made. So as an entrepreneur, this is what I want to do. You even look at it from, it's a book, the Stephen Covey book that says start with the end in mind. Now, when you set your goals, you look at what is the end in mind? What is my end goal here? What do I want to achieve with this? Then you are able to set up, you to have a dream, to have a goal, 10-year goal about this, 100-year goal about this, and then you can follow it through. So one of the things that actually gives you the success is that knowledge of exactly what you are, who you are, of self. I'm an entrepreneur. I've made this choice. I've chosen this career, understanding the career, and then looking at it as the process, like I said, starting, creating goals and dreams about what you want to do. If you don't do that, then you become a hustler. It's all about instant gratification. If I get money here, I can do it. If I don't get money now, I must say, write a CV and go and do that. So the people who withstood the test of time and became entrepreneurs and built businesses, and I will say I'm one of them. I mean, if you look at it, I've done this for over a decade now, and I stood the test of time. Even when times were hard, it's like, you're not making money, or the only money you make is just to pay other people. You're helping people, helping hands, people who help you. I still stuck to my dream. So it's choice of self, choice of career, also setting out that pathway, dreaming about it, that goal setting is like, this is exactly what I'm going to do. So this is actually that character, the knowledge of self and exactly what you are doing. And the dream about it, the goals that you want to achieve. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow, whether my business goes up or down, COVID comes. I've chosen, I'm an entrepreneur. When COVID comes, what I'm going to do, I'll stay as an entrepreneur. If the industry I've chosen, I see it has been phased out all of a sudden by the sudden evolution of technology, I stay an entrepreneur. I can, sort of evolve myself as well. I can pivot, all these words that we use. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going to jump ship. That's what I've chosen. That is actually my career. So it's not a matter of you are there because times are good. No, that's exactly what I've chosen. And once you've chosen it, then the goals that you set as well, the level of it. That's what I said. You set your financial goals. If you want to make $1 billion, become a billionaire, let's say to build businesses that are worth billions, obviously the process, things that you do are not the same as a business, somebody who set up business, which is the main problem with so-called young entrepreneurs. You build a business, when you talk about money, you don't even know. You don't even have a number that you put there to say, I want to build, be specific. There are a lot of being specific. I want to build a corporation, let's say, for example, $100 billion worth of corporation, and then the details follow. So setting all those goals. But with that being said, Thabo, I'll tell you one thing. The best way I explain this, to break it down, I use the Maslow hierarchy of needs. When you look at it, is that when you understand that as a human being, how you evolve, you put the Maslow hierarchy of needs. You start from level 1. There's level 0 now, which is Wi-Fi, right? You've seen that, So when you start from level 0, from your physiological needs, your safety needs, your love, and all that, when you put it, it actually gives you a pathway into how you set your goals. Even in business, I mean, as an entrepreneur, when you look at businesses as well, you use Maslow hierarchy of needs. That's what will help you with needs analysis of what do people need actually. When recession comes, companies are doing well. When do they cut? They cut there on top. You need to know exactly what people need so that you provide the right needs for the people or existing needs for the people. what do people need most here if you want to build sort of a sustainable business? Also, even when your business evolves, I keep visiting Maslow hierarchy of needs so that you'll know exactly what are the needs of people according to this scientific measurement that I use it as. So maybe to sort of come to the closure and sort of maybe simplify my answer with everything that I've said in terms of what make uh, you know what is the question? The people who build businesses. Again, it goes back to that thing: becoming. What are you becoming when you build a business? Um, Becoming an entrepreneur, because there's this entrepreneurial ladder. Remember, you start first of all for you to be an entrepreneur, which is, and I'm sorry to keep saying this, these are some of the mistakes that have been made in South Africa. Hey, start a business, now I'm an entrepreneur. When you go work, you get into a corporate space, you apply for a job. You don't get there and become a CEO the first day, unless if you are a CEO that's hunted. There's a corporate ladder that we talk about. You start as a secretary, become an assistant manager, and get there. The entrepreneurship as well. Being an entrepreneur comes with that entrepreneurial ladder, where you can start there as a student. You are an employee. That's actually that follows. When an employee, you are in a business where you learn. This is how it's run, but you want to actually become an entrepreneur and own that whole process. So, but you learn actually how it's done. You become self-employed, where you employ yourself, and then later on, okay, I master all these things. I can actually get help. You bring other people in. Now you become a business owner. You become an investor and all that, up until you get there to that stage where you are now an entrepreneur. And this is exactly the process that happens with people who build businesses as well. One, these are people who followed processes. They made a choice, followed a process, they followed that step. And towards the end, guess what? These are people who master two things: people and processes. That's why you're an entrepreneur. And this is exactly how you end up by making, all the money and the profits. And if I may say, these are the people I strongly feel that if you have built a business, successful business, I think these are the people who can become the best presidents, because remember, within that, you learn how to become a manager, how to become a leader. Donald Trump is one of the good examples. It's just that personality-wise, I don't know how people feel about him. I was in America, I lived there for a month, and every person I had an opportunity to engage with, I would just ask them, so what do you think of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, your presidents, to see exactly what's happening? But I can tell you, Donald Trump, I think, he's not the best example, but his attributes in J when you look at him. So people who build businesses got to that pinnacle of building business, actually good leaders. They master themselves. Because for you to build that, you need to stay intact, even the times when you can fall. So you end up going through a process that helps with self-mastery. You know yourself, you know how you operate better. You start mastering other people. That's why you have people that you are leading. You become a leader. Now, business needs processes as well, systems. You learn how to build all those things. And the combination of this, do I need to say, or people will just make up their minds? I mean, that is mind-blowing. It's amazing. So, yeah.
Yes, no, very, no, very. I mean, when you talk about it, I can see. I mean, it's coming from within, and but very thorough. Like the way you're explaining it, and I like the idea of growth itself, because that's what we underestimate, especially now, because we are just tempted to buy nice things, build nice houses. We don't think of it that way. That you actually have to be like you're actually touching on the idea of identity, right? Like if you say I'm this person, I was thinking of that metaphor of people who burn boats. They say when you get to an island, you burn your boat. You say, you know what, i'm not I'm not going back. This is me, this is what I'm doing. And then come winter, summer, autumn, you're an entrepreneur, you're going for it. And then you learn with time. So I appreciate that. And maybe if I link it to the idea of who are the people who have influenced you, have you always been this way, or you came across mentors, coaches, Stephen Covey, texts? What has shaped you in order to become the person you are?
Yeah. Okay. So when we look at it from the time when I was young, I think one thing that is even before other people is I've had this wild imagination. Hey, I would watch TV. What I'm seeing on that TV, let's say, for example, from the musical point of view, watch a concert of Luther Vandross singing there. I would not see Luther Vandross, I see myself because I knew I've got a voice to sing. So I had this wild imagination where I could see myself being that person, having a stadium full of 100,000 people. That's me doing that. Watch TV, and then you check, there's a boardroom, people sitting around there. I'd always see myself as that one who's at the corner making rules, yeah, the boss, basically. I would say the boss or the leader, they're making rules. Every time now we used to live, my mom, we used to live at I would say the farm where my grandmother used to live, but not my mom's mom, my other grandmom, because I don't know my grandmother, which is my mom's mom, passed on before I was born. So as I was working the farm, there would be a helicopter passing there. Somehow I literally see myself. I never knew how it looked like inside, but I had this imagination immediately. I would get this thing, see it exactly how it looks inside, and I'm the one in there. I'm in the boardroom making these rules. All these people doing this. I'm the one on stage. Now, fast forward to my life where I'm at right now from my imagination. In terms of that helicopter that I saw, right? Imagining myself, feeling it, dreaming about it. I didn't even have, fears to say, doubts that I'll be in there. The other thing, we used to live in Cruise that my mom was a domestic worker, so we'd live in the bedroom of her boss. Now, Sunday afternoon, we'd take a walk for around about 2 hours even, through those suburbs. I could look at these beautiful houses and see, this one is nice. Guess what? That evening when I go to sleep, sometimes my mom would be talking to me, hey, I'm talking to you. I'm sitting there in my imagination. I already see myself. That's my house. That's my garden. I can even go and dissect and see how that house inside looks like. The kitchen probably doesn't look like that in real life, but in my own imagination, I saw things and I started placing myself in things. And when I look at it right now, one of those houses that I'm talking about, that's why I'm a property investor. I've got multiple properties now. Even, being able to have the choice of house that I want to live in, how it should look like. From that imagination, because I could easily see myself, and I never doubted that I can have a house like that. Talking about the helicopter flying, I'm on my third passport now. One continent that is just missing, I would have been around the world. So I've been traveling more than any person that I know. I'm a global trotter for that matter. It comes from that imagination that I actually saw and actually believed and sort of pursued. Talking about being in the boardroom. Right now, could have been a doctor having a practice, seeing patients, giving people, it's winter now, exactly the, the sick certificate, so they don't go and work because they want to stay at home and be home, really. But now, what am I? Exactly that I saw. I've got a boardroom. I've got businesses, I've got commercial properties, I've got multiple businesses. I get into a boardroom where I can see there's the chairman. I'm a chairman of an organization in that seat that I saw when I was young. So, and I think this is important, because that whole imagination thing, we tend to underestimate it. So now, obviously, this has been supplemented by, you want to be in business, seek first the knowledge and do. Now, I started seeking the knowledge, like of real people. There's a guy that I admired a lot when I was still in varsity. Let's say he's in business. His name is Quentin Ace there. This interstate bus line. He's got multiple businesses. I went to knock in there and said, I want to do this. Can you help me out? And this is the guy who said, okay, you can come see me once a month, come with your plan, and then, you just ask me questions, I'll answer. So I've pursued mentors like that. Now, when you also, follow like business programs or trainings, their books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that book. And I remember one of the desires that I had was, no, I need to meet this guy. Miraculously, I met Robert Kiyosaki 2-3 times. I've been with him in the room. And I think the other time I met him, I was wearing the same jacket that I'm wearing today. But the first time I met him, I was a student at the University of the Free State. I remember when I went, the money that I had, I went to this guy and I thought I'm going to buy the book. The reason I bought the book, it wasn't to read. I already read it. I just wanted to chat with him. And what I asked him was that I know I'm going to become wealthy and successful, but I just need like your validation. Can you tell me? And he said to me, give me your hand. He held my hand and he said, you know what? I can tell you right now. I can tell you with conviction, you are going to be rich. Just believe it. You know, when I left there, that's all I went there for. I didn't even know that's what I was going to do. I was hoping to just greet him. So I bought a book, he signed it, but he gave me that affirmation and he held my hand. So this is one of the people that, you know, the father of entrepreneurship that I followed. And more than that, you know, as an academic, I would say now we are talking finances. I need to learn this thing academically. So I would follow the workshops, I will do that. But I've got my own set of people that I follow. I say, these are the mentors. Their voices matter, real people. I'm a business coach. I bought a franchise in 2020. White people's franchise, I'll put it, is a white business, you know. In less than in the second year, I became there are about 50 franchises across Africa. The top earning coach. Now I'm black, and they say this business is not working in the black market. My clients, 90% are black, and I'm earning the highest. Let me just, even to give you more figures, for you to own the franchise, you need to make minimum 150,000 a month. It's a self-employment thing. As a coach, as a consultant, the clients that you see with the guideline of the pricing structure that you need to do and the work that you need to do. You need to do that. So I get in there. I was probably the youngest coach, only one of the 3 blacks. The other one is in Nigeria, and I think the other one is in Botswana now. I was the only one in South Africa. So I get in there, and within a space, like from the second year, then I became the top earning coach, meaning I was already earning over $500,000 a month in the market where they say this doesn't work, he doesn't have money. Last year, I was certified as $1 million coach, because now sitting also in Free State, the place where they say there's no money, I'm a coach in a white business. It is a sort of a white business with white coaches sitting there in the market where they say there's no money. The same person who's sitting in the place where they say there's no money. I'm one of the first coaches to actually started making 7 figures a month from this franchise. So, so I was just explaining that. So now coming back in terms of, like I said, I explained the imagination, the people that you follow. So in terms of coaching as well, that field that going in, seek first the knowledge and do. The owner of, or who founded Action Coach, Brett Sugars, I call him my billionaire mentor. I want to do coaching. I want to master this thing. Started following the guy. And that's how I got to do that. But I've got a coach as well. Very interesting, again, if I have to say it. Just follow the right people. The guy who coaches me to this day, the coach that I am, I can make other people, I can help other people, turn around their businesses, make them profitable, thrive from it, because I've got tools to do that, which I didn't create myself. They are there, from the franchise point of view, from the learnings that I've had. I also have a coach to this day who coaches me, so because I still want to be better. I pay this person couple of thousands a month so that I can still be coached. So he's one of those people. His name is Didrik van Niekerk. I think I need to credit him. I met him in 2016. To this day, he's my business coach. And now that I've mentioned his name, I would not say in terms of his earnings, but this is a person who walks the walk, walks the talk. He's got multiple businesses. He earns crazy, he earns 7 to 8 figures a month. He's the guy. I think he also owns a global franchise, one of the global franchises, and he's in Bloemfontein. I can tell you right now, from people that I know who live, he earns more than any person that I know, So these are the people that I follow. Now, I don't know if maybe I should derive a lesson out of this. because these are the mistakes that, or maybe just, just help other people. If you want to succeed at the time, you want to become a clinical psychologist, look around. Who are clinical psychologists who are in the market, who are thriving, let's say a thriving one, who are doing well, who are relevant? There is Thabang Tlaka. He's not just he's practicing. You can see exactly what he's doing. And you can look at his track record. You can track the guy. Learn from people who are doing things. They say if you want a mentor, just look at somebody who is where you want to be. Or even better, you can even surpass these people. That's the nice part about it. So people I learn from, people inspire me. I choose my mentors very carefully. And it's very funny. This is very interesting that when I look at the ratio of the mentors I have, now I'm going to mention it, it's not politically correct. You find the 80-20 that it's 80% white people and maybe 20% black people. Now people will start lambasting me and say, no, man, you worship white people. No, I don't. Look at our history, where we come from. The people who've been longer in the game, the people who are having this wealth of knowledge, the people with the land. You see, it comes all, I know, it comes a long way. So because of that, and because that's where I want to be, that's why majority of them find they are white. It does not make us as black people any better. We've got our challenges to come wherever. A lot of us, look at us now, even the generational wealth, when you look at it, most of us are first generation graduates, millionaires, all this. How many black people can tell you about old money? That's why I've seen, I think there are videos that black people would make and refer to, old money. Old money is quiet. New money is, what is it? They'll call it new money is loud. New money. So why shouldn't we be loud about it? Because it's possible now. We need to make noise about it now and show people that we can do it now. People will refer to old money. Most of us, honestly, it's new money, first generation graduation and all that. So what is my point here is that I think when you choose a mentor, people that you follow, that will inspire you. Stop being political about it. If you're going to look at color, you know how many of our celebrities here that we thought they are celebrities? How many people of our famous people here, they claim they have money. You come close, you get to know them, you realize, oh my word, what a fallacy here. It is not true. So what I'm saying is that follow the real deal. Don't look at the color of a person. Kenny Kunene said himself, I don't need to like you to learn from you. So you don't need to like people. You don't even need to like white people to learn from them, but follow the real deal, follow the real lessons, follow the people who have done exactly what you want to do or where you want to be. So I thought maybe to take advantage of the question, maybe just, share that blueprint with people who want to become the best. Yeah.
No, that's wonderful. I mean, where you took it, it's even like, yeah, you said a mouthful. We could even pack it there. I'm just maybe when we summarize, right? What's what's next for you when you think about it? So you want to move from you mentioned earlier, you want to move from one status to the next. You want to move towards the billionaire status, but otherwise, what are the things you're thinking about, or what's next, things for yourself and things you think we should be thinking about?
Yeah. Okay. Look at myself now. I'm turning 40 by the way in a couple of weeks, and they say life starts at 40. So I've been following the Maslow hierarchy of needs. It's been one of my tested measures, kind of metrics that I thought I should follow this one. Okay, so psychological needs are done, the safety is done now, the love is done, I'm married, I've got kids. So I think I'm at a point in my life where I take this thing, life begins at 40, very serious. So I want to even enjoy my life more. Like I said, I just came out of I would call it a month vacation with my family in the US. I've got businesses. None of them, I don't have businesses that have dropped in terms of profitability or anything. My businesses are running, the processes are there. So now as a real entrepreneur, if you say you have a business, you must have people and processes, you don't even need to work in it. So I would say in a way I've managed to work and learn and sort of achieve that. So turning 40, enjoying life more. Um, got married, of course. I've been married for 10 years. When we started our marital journey, young professionals, my wife is a medical doctor as well. So working in a private hospital, high stressful work. When the marriage started, it was that where there's a whole lot of conflict. We are finding ourselves, we are developing ourselves. We were not where we are now. Even the financial stress based on ambitions. You want to live in this place, you want to drive this car, you want to do all that. So I would say the beginning, and I always remind her to say, you know what, we didn't fall in love, we are growing in love. So with that being said, what's next is that it's just to even enjoy my marriage more in an era where people are saying marriages are not relevant anymore. It's all divorces. When people zig, I zag. I want to enjoy my marriage more than ever right now, applying the principles that forced me to do that. But the most important part, that I've got kids. And I didn't have a father. I've got a single mother. I don't know the influence of a father in my life, except, those mentors, my teachers at school, those neighbors who loved you, but that holistic, that full time, your own father. So, which is why with one of my ambitions, I love fatherhood. I had a dream. I dreamt of being a father to my children. People will always come up with challenges where their children are concerned. I'm really enjoying it so much that maybe later on I'll realize financially these kids bankrupted me without realizing, because I enjoy doing things for them. I enjoy spending time with them. So also as a father, look at what I've got. My little boy right now, I was shocked to find out he's got such a beautiful voice. This boy could turn out to be, and he keeps saying he wants to be a musician, but he's got this scientific mind, crazy scientific mind as well. So I'm looking at it to say, if he's going to be a musician, I'd love to be his agent like Beyonce's parents, where who became their agents, and look at where they got them. So it's just to enjoy life even more. So marriage-wise, enjoy it even more. When you say when we retire, we want to go, and that's exactly how we've planned it. Have the house by the sea, walk our dogs, and just enjoy. White people, old, frail people walking slow there, wife and husband married for 70 years. That's what I want for my marriage. My children, I just want to groom them to become the best that they can be. The big one is in business now. They want to become a millionaire at 18. Groom him to become that, so that he's a problem solver. I know the country, I'm giving the country a solution, not a problem here, But as a father, I'm busy, enjoy that more, give them more time, help them groom more. And more. Now, the other one, which is very important, with my potential. Academically, I always said when I started, I'll be a professor. But later on, it's like, money is more important. This academic, But right now, I'm at a point where, what stopped? I'm literally an academic. So why don't I pursue even that academic part? Because it helps for me to, to test theories, theses, come up with new theories, write up all those and give them to the world, the new knowledge to the world as well. Why don't I pursue it and become that? This one, I will say it's 50-50. I'm not sure with what we've done, devalued education in terms of, your degrees and all that, become a professor. But one thing I know is that I'm fully pursuing is that I need to get to that net worth of $1 billion, just for the process. What I'm going to become, it's not even about money. And to say I've done it, and I can show people the blueprint. This is how you actually make $1 billion, or how you become a billionaire. So those are the things, living life to the fullest, different areas of my life. I know exactly what I want to do, and that's exactly what I'm pursuing, what I'm going to pursue. And yeah, God willing, when I'm 90, I can look back and say, yeah, no, I did it very well. So yeah, I lived a life that's full, and I did it my way. So yeah, enjoying life. In the midst of load shedding, all these things that are happening, I still will enjoy this life in that Thabo.
No, Ntate Pitse, Dr. Thabo Pitse. This has been quite a pleasure. The first time I listened to you, there was something burning inside of me. I was like, yo, I have to talk to this man. And even today, when I just hear you, I usually have lots of questions and things. I just wanted to sit and just hear you. And my wish is, good health, uh, more finances, good quality people in your life. I mean, you have so much that you need help. And but otherwise, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time to to just share your knowledge and to share of yourself because you really did. I don't know if there's any parting shots, but otherwise, I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no, I think I've said a
Mouthful.
mouthful. I think I've said enough, and I hope that people, can take out the nuggets of what's important to you, what's not, throw in the bin, what you can use and make use of. But I think in closing, I'd like to say, before I say thank you, I just want to say, you know, um, the secret of life. There's this people talk about, we are always looking. That's why people go to church everywhere. You're looking for secret of life. Um, Look, the secret of life is just to live it. Now, I sound like those millionaires, they say, what, work hard, and they don't tell you how to work hard. Now, I just say, what, I think what you've been given, life starts and ends, your own life starts and ends up here in your own head. So if you want to live life to the fullest, watch out for what you think, because remember, what you think becomes what you say becomes what you do, and that's exactly what manifests in your life. So just guard against this. Create a mindset of watch your mindset and make sure that your mindset will actually give you the outcome of the life that you want. So you don't live life by default, by the noises that you hear out there. If these people say this, they say this, you go there. If they say it's to trade, you go there. To make money, it's only forex, you go there. Don't be afraid to create your own life without fear. And follow your instinct. I always say that voice inside you that's God's voice. Follow the God's voice, create your own life. Sometimes just close your ears and your eyes to the noise out there, and look at yourself, ask yourself, what am I, who am I, what am I about? And just follow that guide that we have. Even if it's a guide not to give you, to make you the richest man, maybe money is not what we are here for, to come and make. We always think that everyone wants to be rich. It's not true. Just follow your instinct. Just follow that guide. Just follow that voice inside you. Embrace it. And in your space, you'll see there are people who are best, who have no money at all, but they are so good at what they do that they respect that they earn. So just follow who you are. Trust and believe in it, and just be who you are and just enjoy life, man. With these words, I just want to say thank you so much. As I said in the beginning, biblical, God's work here. My people perish due to lack of knowledge, and you are bringing them the knowledge, bringing them the kind of people that you bring to the platform, with scientific, tested, true knowledge that people can learn from. So I just want to say what a great honor to be part of the network, to be part of your channel, of your program. So I'm grateful and I thank you. And please keep it up. May God give you more strength, more anything that you need in order for you to carry out your purpose. So keep doing God's work and God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My guest, Dr. Thabo Pitse. Thank you very much.